Hey guys, I wanted to do a quick video here and show you what I'm seeing for the first time in the Des Moines Service Center. This is the first post-construction video, and this has been a little weird for us because I've always been really involved in the construction of the service centers. Like for the Omaha Service Center, I was actually the general contractor. After that, I swore I would never do that again. So this service center, literally, we got signed a lease, and then a little bit later, they said, hey, there's a service center ready. So I brought the first truckload of furniture and stuff down to deliver today. So I'm seeing this for the first time. I thought I would share it with you. So they're still doing locks and stuff on the doors, so forgive me while they a little background noise, and it's a little echoey because nothing's in here yet. So we'll go over everything here real quick if you're interested. All right, so front doors here are a little different than the other service centers. It's a double door. There was an entire vestibule here from the previous occupant that came out way, you can almost kind of see the lines in the concrete where it was. Sorry, that's my arthritis brace on my hand. I'm starting to get arthritis in my thumb, go figure that. But, so you can see there was a whole vestibule here and we wanted to get rid of that. So we tore that out. And now when you walk into the front door of the Des Moines Service Center, you'll see that it's styled a lot like the Papillion Service Center is. Some little differences that I noticed. Number one, this check writing counter isn't exactly as tall as the other service centers. So there's not a lot of height difference here. You know, this is about it. So when you come in, it's a nice low ADA counter that you can set your stuff on and then check everything. This counter is usually taller because when you put a computer monitor here, you know, your monitor is going to be standing up this tall. So it's going to be a little tough to see over it, but it'll be all right. Other thing I noticed right off the bat is there's no holes. So we're going to have to do some coring bits and drill some holes for cords so that we can put that on there. Those are some of the finishing touches. As we go into the back, oh, by the way, over here we have things on the wall for televisions, and this is part of what happens with construction. We're going to put a couple large TVs here to put advertising on the wall in place of the wall art we used to do. And we wanted a television right here as well, but either it got missed on the blueprint or I overlooked it. But we're going to have to punch a hole in the wall there and hang a television there as well. Fun stuff. This service center is only about 1,600 square feet, but it actually has two different air conditioning units. That's because it used to be a bakery. So we actually have separate HVAC control for the front lobby as well as the back room, which is kind of nice. In the back, has 32 bench spots, so we can work on 32 computers simultaneously here in the service center. All of the power and the data is above the bench, so that way you've got quad outlets here. The reason there are quad outlets is each outlet, you have one outlet that goes up for a monitor, and then you have an outlet that comes out for a computer. And then over here next to it you have one monitor and then one computer. So each quad block to the left and the right is a bench spot. In between each quad block we've got a dual data connection, so we can run a wired connection here and a wired connection here if we want to. Wireless is pretty fast, but not everyone has the fastest wireless adapters in their computers, so sometimes it's actually faster to go wired instead of wireless. So you can see down the bench here, I'm imagining in my head this being on opening day just being completely full of computers. One of the things that we've started doing with the Lincoln Service Center is we actually, as part of our benches, they were actually a full structured piece that went down to the floor, and on the floor it had like just the height of a 2x4, a little raised up platform to place the computers on down below. That's because if for any reason we would ever take water in the service center, we don't want a customer's computer to get wet sitting on the floor if it's waiting in queue to go on the bench. So we're going to have to build something like that up to get that level of protection. Apparently that we sent over pictures of what we wanted, but this is not what we sent a picture of. So there were some liberties that were taken, but overall the benches are very sturdy and I'm happy with the construction. So if anyone has ever bought benches before, you know how much benches cost. They're ridiculously expensive, so to have something like this constructed is a huge money saver. In the back over here, this is where the rack is going to go. This is going to be the communications center for the shop. So when you're going to put our phone system on here, our switches, everything like that, battery backup. So when you call the shop, all of your phone calls are going to come in through this bunch of cables here, and then they're going to get routed throughout the shop where they need to go. We actually build our own phone systems, so we don't purchase them. Phone systems are another one of those things that are just stupid expensive for no reason at all. And the Schrock Interactive team is completely capable of doing all the programming that we need. And the hardware is just hardware. And we have guys that build hardware all day long, so that works out pretty neat. This was previously a restaurant. It was a bakery, a cheesecake bakery, I believe. So they've unfortunately removed the entire cheesecake smell from the place. But there are 2 bathrooms here, which is a little overkill. So what we probably, the same thing we did in the Omaha Service Center, is we got ourselves a unisex bathroom sign and just did instead of the men and the handicap, we had a man and a woman, and it just said like restroom under here. And then this one will become Thor's private office, you know. So when you have to come in here and, you know, talk to an employee, I can put a desk right in front of that. You know, I have my own wet bar over here, and we have spare dispensers for everything. Then it's going to work out really nice. All the light switches in the bathrooms are smart switches. All the light switches for the front and for the back room are not smart. So we're going to have to replace those with smart switches so they can be remotely controlled on a schedule. But the fixtures, everything was pre-existing here in the bathrooms. So this is how this will look before. It doesn't look bad at all. It doesn't really follow our design motif. It's not white like it's supposed to be. The bathrooms were supposed to be white. But, you know, you kind of learn in construction to overlook the small stuff. And, you know, there's plenty of big stuff to worry about. And I don't know that anyone's going to be too concerned about the color of the bathroom. This side of the room over here, we have the same deal. A great big run of bench. Sometimes we put monitors up on everything and sometimes we don't. Haven't really decided how many monitors. The difference between that is what happens, and I don't know why this is, in the service centers, it always happens this way. Desktops will gravitate toward one side and laptops will end up on the other side. And I can already tell you that the right side is going to be preferred by technicians because it's a straight run with no bend. When you have a corner like that, the bend in the corner is a lot of lost space. So you have a computer that sits there and then one that sits next to it, and you can only have one person standing in that space to work on both of those computers, so it tends to get used a lot less. Yeah, so this wall over here, we don't have any windows to contend with in here, so we could put monitors everywhere if we wanted to. I'm not exactly sure how many we're going to get yet. One of the other things they did a little bit differently in this build than I would have done is they ran the data cabling before they did the paint. So you can see here they used white wire, they used black zip ties, and they used bare metal retention brackets on a black surface. So I don't know what the logic was there, but so anyway, it's fun times there. But I think what we're going to end up, I don't think we're going to shoot that black because they use dry fall paint up there, and dry fall is a different kind of paint. So if you use any other black paint to try to touch up on that, you'll be able to see the brush strokes, whereas this blue is just a regular flat paint. So in the back, you know, I'm not too concerned about the giant arteries of data going through the service center. The thing that does kind of concern me a little bit is up front. This looks ugly, I think. And this is flat blue paint here, so we can touch this up pretty easily. So we're going to paint this over here as well, probably with blue paint on each side over here. The other thing that I thought was super curious, you're going to laugh at this, but so here we have 2 light switches, right? And I'm logically thinking one controls the front and one controls the back, because when you look up here, no light switches, no light switches, no light switches, and no light switches. So obviously these 2 switches, there's no switches by the back door either, I checked there. These 2 must control the whole service center, right? Now watch this. So in the service center back here, we have 2 rows of lights. If I turn off the light switch on the right, the lights on the left turn off. And if I turn off this light switch on here on the left, the lights on the right turn off. Where's the light switch for the front? I don't know. I don't know. So at this point, I'm thinking we're going to have to turn off the lights at the panel unless they're going to put a switch in. So I thought, there's got to be a switch. I walked the entire wall, all the way around the bay. There's got to be a switch I'm missing. What I saw was this panel here that looks like it used to be a switch, but is not a switch anymore. Dustin was asking about surge protection. We actually do surge protection at the bench, so we're gonna mount surge protectors. Our protector disconnect surge protectors down right here. That's why this is so tall right here. We're gonna mount them right here, and we're gonna plug into those actually. The monitors we don't care so much about, but the surge protectors are gonna go down below. The reason for that is the surge protection at the panel is pretty expensive, especially because this is a 400 amp panel. This is a lot more panel than we need to do what we're doing. But you can see here on the new revised map, they've gotten rid of a lot of the breakers. She had a lot of equipment in here. To give you guys an idea, a 400 amp panel, this is the same panel that runs our Bitcoin mine in our Papillion Service Center. So I mean, This was capable of producing a lot more power than we're going to need in the service center. A standard service center has about a 180 or a 220 amp panel, so you really don't need 400 to run it. The floors in here, you can see before. I'll go up front so you can get a better view of the floor here. But you can see where the walls were before. There wasn't a whole lot we could do about this. So there was a wall. This wall was pre-existing here, and then you can see over here there was another wall. So the way this was before, this was all kitchen. This is where the ovens were. This is where all the goodies were baked. And then over here was tables. So you had tables going through here where customers would sit and eat. And so we said we like the floor. We like the finish on this floor. It's really nice. It's very smooth. It's a mirrored surface. It'll be very easy to clean and wax and preserve. We did not like how rough this stuff was. This looks like my elementary school floor. But they were able to sand this down for us. They did have to fill it in some spots, but they were able to sand it down for us and make it nice and smooth so that we'll be able to have a nice waxable finish out there. There was a big fireplace and everything over here. It was a very nice mantle and everything, but not really what we do, so we got rid of it. The double doors, we were a little concerned because there were 2 doors here and we didn't really want 2 doors. There was a gap that was like this thick between the doors. And it was literally just, it was going to allow a draft to come right in. And they said, well, that's why there was a vestibule here. So we could leave the vestibule and it'll be fine. So we actually had to pay extra money to have this transformed into a solid, it still looks like a door. So it still even has the door hardware on it, which is super weird because it's not a door. I mean, there's no latches. There's no way to unlock this and open it. I don't think there is anywhere. Well, no, maybe it is still a door. I don't know. So anyway, this is, like I said, this is weird. All my other service centers, I have been really involved in the design process. This one, we sent a blueprint over and then they built it. The other thing that I thought was a little bit odd was the track lighting. The track lighting is supposed to be suspended over the product inventory shelves, which the floating inventory shelves are going to go on this wall right here. The track lighting is way over there though, almost over the front desk. So those lights are going to be aimed at some pretty extreme angles to get the lights down there. I was very pleased they provided us with fire extinguishers. That's the stupid stuff you don't think about when you're doing a build, and then you come to get an inspection and they won't approve you because you don't have a fire extinguisher. We have all of our data and power under the front desk here for all the computers. Again, we'll need some holes cored so that we can actually use a computer on the desk and get the wires up there. Well, that's going to be pretty rough. So this is going to get kind of the view of a person sitting at the front desk if you were working here right now. And people were coming in the door, they'd put their computers here. We would check them in over here on the computer. If we had 2 people come in at one time, the second person would come over on this side. You can see the length of this counter is social distance appropriate, the things we have to think about now. And so a second person could be checked in here. This is where printers and everything goes here so that we can print off work orders and have some room to deal with files and things like that. Filing cabinets and stuff will go under this side and that side there. 2 chairs here, and you are good to go with the front desk. So yeah, it looks like probably in the next couple weeks we're going to be hiring for the Des Moines Service Center. So if you do know anyone in the Des Moines area who is a computer repair technician or someone who is looking for a front desk position and they have that genuine service-driven personality, it'd be a good idea to have them apply. We're going to get those job ads up here shortly. But I thought I'd come and do this live stream with you guys before I started moving all the furniture in my truck in, because unfortunately it's just me, which means I'm going to get pretty hot. I'm not putting it together today though. You know, there's the things you tell people, and then there's the things that are real. The things that are real is Thor does not like to build furniture or fixtures or things like that. The things you tell people is we want the new employees of the Des Moines Service Center to have a feeling of ownership of the space. Therefore, I would think it would be appropriate if they built all the furniture. I think that would be just choice. All right, guys. Hey, Robert, how's it going? Good to see you. And Bob, we'll be happy to help you out here. I know you drive over, and we're going to get that TV sign fixed for you, Bob. Every time Bob comes in, inside the service centers on the TVs, we have a movie that runs. And on the movie, the call letters for WHO are mixed up. And no one except Bob ever notices. And so it's been one of those things that's kind of on the agenda to fix, but we've never really, it's not high on the agenda to fix. Right now we're like, oh yeah, we need to, right now guys, just some of the stuff that's happening behind the scenes. We have our new, I talked about our high-speed hard drive enclosures, the modular storage devices that are coming out. Haven't talked at all on the radio shows yet about our own line of wireless keyboards and mice that are coming out. The prices of wireless keyboard and mice sets are going just ridiculously high. And the availability on it, the supply chains are completely broken. So we're going to actually have our own line made. Also, some of the parts that are that go into the inside of our modular computers, we're having some of those made as well because we're having difficulties getting them in the quantities that we need. So if we buy in a ridiculous quantity, like we might need 50 of these pieces a month, and we're having trouble getting 50. But if we make 5,000 of them, we can get them at a much lower price and have them for the rest of eternity, probably beyond the time we'll ever need them. Maybe we'll sell them on Amazon, and you can buy modular PC components on Amazon. Who knows? So anyway, if you guys have any questions, feel free to post them. I'll try to answer them as I take breaks from moving heavy pieces of furniture in. But otherwise, we look forward to opening here. We're targeting August for an open date, for an opening month. I know it's a little vague, but with everything going on right now, I was driving into Iowa, and I haven't been like deep into Iowa in the last month. And there's these giant signs over the interstate that says "Test Iowa Authorized Only." And I'm like driving in, and I'm like, oh gosh, am I someplace I'm not supposed to be? I'm not authorized to be in Iowa, And so I Googled it as I was driving, which is totally safe. If you're a tech guy, you can do that. But they just mean that they're testing for COVID in Iowa, but you have to be authorized to get the test. So I was like, whew, that's a close one. All right. Should have asked I to come over to assemble. I used to do that for Office Depot and others. Oh, that's all right, Bob. I appreciate it. I'm not going to be down here all day today, but we don't have all the furniture. That's the other part, too. And as anyone who knows the lovely Kimberly will tell you, she likes to be here for the assembly process because she doesn't like to see things get scratched, and she wants everything done just so. And then she doesn't understand why the guys don't. They're like, oh, man, we can put stickers all over it. And they're like, no, don't do that, because every computer part you buy now comes with a sticker. And sometimes your guys are like, 12-year-old kids, and they put stickers all over everything, and you come in and you're scraping stickers off the wall like you're a parent. It's kind of fun. So anyway, I just wanted to share this with you guys. It's pretty exciting. It's a little scary, but it's pretty exciting because the last time we've opened a brand new location was 11 years ago. Not brand new meaning a location in a market where we were not in before. So literally, we'll be really counting on everyone in the Des Moines area, if you're watching this, to spread the word and help us out on Facebook and with social media and with your friends. Let everybody know that we're coming. We're going to do our part. We're going to have some pretty crazy sales, a lot of free stuff, a lot of giveaway items, backpacks, flashlights, all those foam football things, everything that you would normally expect to get at a fun grand opening, but also a lot of free service too to help people get off to a good start and get their maintenance going and get their, if they're looking for a new computer. I have no doubt that we will have people driving down from Omaha and Lincoln down to the Des Moines Service Center to get in on the deals that we're going to have for the grand opening here in Des Moines, which defeats the purpose, but I'm not going to argue with people if they want to drive that far. So anyway, all right, guys, well, we'll keep you posted. Thanks for watching. I appreciate it, and I appreciate you being truck customers. We'll talk to you here soon.